welcome to the May wrap-up. We don't need to talk about a lot of things, including but not limited to the fact that the shirt is the same shirt I wore in my May TBR. It was not planned. I was like thinking about wearing a different shirt, but then it ended up being cooler today, so I wore this one, and then I was like, wait a second. Hot take. I've got over here my book thingamajiggy that has all 15 of the books, not including the DNFs and the 25-ish pages that was the 11th Metal in the Arcanum Unbound by Brandon Sanderson. And then over here I have the 3 physical books. I read mostly ebooks or audiobooks. And then, can I hang this up? Whiteboard. H, I told you there was going to be a whiteboard. This is what I mean, you all see in the TBRs that I write them all on my iPad first, because this, at the time, has all the previous month stuff. And then throughout the month I cross them off on here because it's easier when I can like physically see it in my room. Here you go. This is it. So I think, yeah, I did say I read 15 books. I'm going to start with the DNFs, and then go straight into reading vlog books, which is 2 out of 3 of the physical books, because both the DNFs were for reading vlogs. And then I'm going to go from reading vlogs to book club books, and then from there, just go to the books that I wanted to read, or just read for fun. I did manage, thanks to the 2 DNFs, fit in 2 extra books that were not part of my planned TBR, so that's great. I'm thriving on that. Now, not counting the DNFs, my average rating for May was 3.6, which, oh my god, loud. Honestly, not that low for me. That's about my average, so I'm fine with that. Now, the 2 DNFs, I gotta look. The 2 options are either I look here or look there. The DNFs were Paper Butterflies and The Rosie Project for 2 different vlogs. I think The Rosie Project was first. It was. The Rosie Project was fine. It was an okay romance. I think I DNF'd it around 53%. The audiobook was okay. It just was not my writing style. Not it, fam. And I'm fine with that. And then Paper Butterflies, I DNF'd like halfway through chapter 1. 1, the chapters were too long. And 2, not a topic I want to read about for fun, especially since I was already going through a low-key reading some, so I was like, I'm not here for it. I'm just gonna read some romance instead. And that was that. Those were the 2 DNFs. Now, other book club picks, we've got Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. I have read The Hate You Give before, and here, I'll stand over here so the book cover can be over here. Anyways, I read The Hate You Give. I had rated that 5 stars. I think I read that last year, or either last year or 2020. I did enjoy Concrete Rose. I listened to the audiobook for that one, and it was great. The only thing is that, like, I knew most of the stuff that was going to happen already, because I had already read The Hate You Give. So maybe if I had read Concrete Rose first, I would have enjoyed it more, but it was still a good book. There was A Ruin of Roses by K.F. Breen. The best way to describe this is Beauty and the Beast retelling, but the beast is a dragon. I will continue the series. I think it's a trilogy. I will continue it, and I did enjoy it. It just did not, even though it did not end how I expected it, it was so boring and underwhelming of an ending. Like, all this crazy stuff's going on. It's complete chaos. And then you just get the most underwhelming ending ever. So there's that. And then technically it was a book club pick, but also I threw it in for the Rose reading vlog. By the way, all reading vlogs will be linked below. I threw it in because I felt bad that I DNF'd one, even though I didn't do that for the Butterfly reading vlog, but that's fine. And that was A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is a reread. I rated it, I think originally 2 stars the first time, but I brought it down to a 1 like a few months later. And I annotated it this time, and I loved it. 4 stars. It was very close to being my favorite book of the month. Like, it was very close. It only just barely got beat out by one other. So that's fun. Also, check out my, excuse me as I plug myself again, check out my Instagram, because I do have little graphics there for each month, well, starting last month, both in my highlights, but also in my stories of my favorite books of each month, and who's winning out for the favorite book of the year. So, we already talked about Paper Butterfly. So, Butterfly and Frost by Sylvia Day. Was it Helen who brought it up in my comments for that vlog? I don't remember. Helen, was it you? I know you watch all these. That it definitely felt more like a contemporary type situation. I think I brought up the fact that it felt more like a contemporary in grief, and something like she just wanted to write a contemporary or something. But basically, from what I understand, this was like the first book back after a very long break from writing, and she was a very famous romance author before that. And like the way it read was like she went through some form of grief and loss, and she therapized herself by writing, as many writers do. And then her publicist or someone higher up was like, hey, you gotta make this a romance so that we can like promote it and sell it via your name, because you sell romance books, not contemporaries. And so it was supposed to be a romance, but it just was depressing and not what I expected. Also, that last chapter was a whirlwind. What was that? And then after that was The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. That was unexpectedly enjoyable. I really did not expect to like it as much as I did. I think I said in the vlog and also on my Instagram stories that I wasn't sure if I would pick up the sequel. I wasn't feeling it. Hilariously, if I had done the butterfly video first, I could have done the sequel for the rose video, because the second one has a rose on the cover, and it's like, what's the rose something, I don't know. But I will read it. It's already on my TBR. Not planned, but like it is on my Goodreads TBR. So it will happen. I don't know how much I will enjoy it, because it definitely feels more like a standalone. So I'm not sure where that will go. But yeah, can you tell I'm trying to do this fast so this isn't an hour-long video? Probably. We got 12th Night by William Shakespeare. For those who don't know, I'm trying to read 12 classics in the year. And this was just the classic I chose for this month because it fit the green reading vlog. It was boring and confusing at the same time until like the very ending, like the last act was pure chaos when everything came out. Like there's Viola and Olivia, which was confusing. Oh my god, let me tell you. And one of them is like a super rich, beautiful woman that this guy wants to marry. And then there were these twins that were in a shipwreck, and they both presumed the other one's dead. So the female twin goes and pretends to be a guy and works for the guy who wants to marry the pretty lady, and is basically hired by him to get her to marry him. But then she ends up falling for her, not knowing that she's a she. And then her twin brother shows up, and she ends up marrying him, thinking that it's the, like, it's so complicated and confusing and chaotic when all of it comes out, let me tell you. Especially, I'm pretty sure people just die off screen because it's a play. Well, whatever. First physical book. This book almost put me in a reading slump. Storm from the East by Joanna Hathaway. A lot of the first book was very much characters being naive and dumb and trying to be smart, but not understanding how the world works, and so they're just being dumb and naive. As the reader can be like, yeah, that's kind of obvious. And so I expected one with a chaotic ending, how Ari ended up doing stuff, that she was gonna finally stop being naive and understand how this world works and be able to fight the battles the way that she can. And Ethan would realize that his dad's suspicious. And then this book happened, and it was like they hadn't learned anything from the last book. They were still dumb and naive about everything. At least she does finally figure out that Ethan is her mother's arch nemesis's secret son. So like there's that. And the ending was chaotic again, but like I don't care. I will finish the series because this is a very probable chance of middle book syndrome, I hope. But I swear, she had a letter from a dying family, like a family member who had died that she trusted, that said, don't go to this guy, go home. And then she goes to the guy. That's where the book ends. She's going to the other guy. And I'm just like, girl, no, stop being dumb. So I did not have a good time with that one, but I finished it. There was remote control, which I really enjoyed. It feels like there was something missing in the ending, and I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's because nothing in the magic system was really explained, but I feel like that was the point, so I'm fine with that. But then at the end, they try to shoehorn this explanation, but I don't understand what this explanation is. I'm confused. But I did enjoy it. It was really good. And then we got the gay one. Thanks to Helen telling me to read the audiobook for this. The audiobook, gosh, if you have to read it, or if you have to read this, if you're going to read this, I say go audiobook. In fact, I am actually planning to, at some point for a future unhaul video, you'll see this, I'm planning to unhaul this copy, because if I ever read it again, I'm gonna go audiobook. Like, I'm not gonna read it physically, I'm gonna do audiobook. But this was great. I was not expecting it to be as gay as it was, but it was super gay. It was beautiful and complicated and an interesting look into being a attractive woman during this time. I think it was like the 50s. So being an attractive woman who had to be sexualized by media, but also, like, if she did anything slightly sexual, like get married, like how dare she, and all this jazz. But also sexuality, so like that type of sexuality, but also like sexual identity, and that whole conversation was in here. The ending left some to be, like, there was like this low-key mystery throughout on why Evelyn Hugo gets the journalist she gets to write the story. Like, she gets millions of dollars if she sells this story and all this stuff. And you, like, the whole time it's hinting that there's a deeper reason why, and the reason why did not hit as hard as I think it meant to. That being said, I did almost cry twice in like 20 pages. But it was like, it moved on so fast, especially the second time that something happened, right after the first time. I was just like, okay, like, you moved on, like, she didn't move on fast, but the book moved on fast. I was like, it didn't hit emotionally just hard enough. Like, it just was under the mark for making me cry, but it was still really good. I do recommend the audiobook. And then there was Stolen Songbirds by Danielle L. Jensen. I did not manage to get to the second book. I think I said in the vlog that I was going to try to get to the second book this month. I did not manage to, sadly. But I loved this book. It was the unexpected joy. I thought it was going to have to be like a struggle between this book and ACOTAR to become the favorite of the month, because I was like struggling. This book was like, is it a good book by any like technical standards? Not really. But did I have the time of my life? Hell yeah. Also, I was looking up reviews to see if it gets a little bit of a spicy dance going on in the sequels, and based off a winky face I saw in one, I'm gonna go with it does in the sequel. I hope so. Dear God. Sadly, I did not get to the sequel during May, and because June's mostly gonna be the gay books, I'm going to hold it off until July, and then I'm going to try to finish the trilogy in like a weekend or something. Maybe in a weekend reading vlog, maybe. It pops, possibly, I don't know. But, beautiful. I loved it. I was unexpectedly in love. And those are all the reading vlog books. And then we got the book club books, which is 2 Brandon Sandersons. Technically 3 if you count the 11th Metal, but I don't even have that as currently reading on Goodreads because I'm just going to mark the one I finished the whole entire collection. So other than that, there was, still gotta stand over here, book covers. There was the Arithmetist by Brandon Sanderson, which is something about math and chalk, and it's very complicated, and I'm very upset to learn that the series has not been continued since the first ones were in, which is very surprising. It didn't hit as hard as any of the other Brandon Sandersons I've read. I read 3 others now, and I think that's mostly because it's YA, so it didn't really, for some reason, just didn't go as far as I expected. And then also, the magic system, like, I understood it, but it wasn't enjoyable for me. That being said, the audiobook narrator, top tier content, and I am very happy to learn that he narrates most, if not all, of Brandon Sanderson's books. So when I read the Mistborn Second Era in June, or this month technically, I will definitely be enjoying his voice again. Speaking of his voice again, he also, oh, I should mention I rated that one 3 stars. I can actually say what I rated books now. Rated that one 3 stars. Didn't hit as hard. May continue the series if he ever finishes it, but I don't think I will, just because, like, by the time he finishes this series, I will probably have forgotten everything, so I would have to reread the first book, and I didn't like it enough to reread it, so, like, but still, go ahead, I guess. But speaking of the narrator of the Arithmetist, he also narrated the audiobook I managed to get a hold of Hero of Ages. And it's a good thing I did, because it was on the wire. I finished at 11:56 last night, the 31st of May. It was close. Okay, I don't really know what to say, because the second book was not as much lore as I wanted. It was more action, less lore, and meanwhile this one had more lore and less action, and I don't think I really, like, I think the problem is that I'm just not caring about the characters as much as I expected. Like, the only one I cared about was Vin. Otherwise, I didn't care. Like, the characters I cared about were Spook, Vin, and Kelsier, and Kelsier has been dead for a while by this point, so, like, who cares? Spoilers for, like, if you want to read the first book, I guess. But it was okay, I guess. I'm going for 4 stars for this one as well. So for Final Empire, 4.5, for Wild Ascension and Hero of Ages, 4 stars. It was good. I enjoyed it. The lore was god tier. Like, I was living my best life listening to this on audiobook, hearing everything go down, and I was like, oh my god. Especially the stuff about the Chondras and all that fun jazz. But I didn't enjoy it as much as I expected. Slightly disappointing. That being said, I mean, I will continue the Brandon Sanderson readathon thingamajiggy, which is going to be interesting for Mistborn Era 2, because I don't know what the fudge that's going to be. But yeah, it was a very non-climactic kind of ending. Like, it's supposed to be this big giant power battle, all this stuff, but I was just sitting there like, I don't care anymore. I've been through like almost 3,000 pages of this. I don't care anymore. And then the way it ends, like, very ending, how it resolves itself, was just not what I wanted, not who I wanted to do it. And that's where I'm gonna leave that. So 4 stars. And then the other book, so there's 3 extra books. One of them was planned for other reading, and 2 of them were not. The one that was planned was also one that I finished on the wire yesterday, which is Broken Throne by Victoria Aveyard. The last book I had to read for the Red Queen universe. Just stand over here so I can put up the book cover me. Goodness gracious. But basically it's the 2 novellas I've already read, and then a little bit of, like, basic lore stuff, and then I think 4 or 5 novellas, extra novellas, talking about the world and stuff. And the first extra novella was about characters we've never seen before. I didn't give 2 cares about them, okay? I don't care. And then there was one about Evangeline and her life after everything that happened in Warstorm, which I appreciated, especially since Evangeline very much became my favorite character. But I still didn't care. Like, at this point, I was like, I don't care. There was one about Mare and Cal finally ending up together. Like, did they really expect us not to expect them to end up together? I feel like there's another one, but I don't remember. And then there's one where Maven and Cal, like, when Maven's supposed to go be executed, I'm pretty sure, and Cal goes to say goodbye and Maven pushes him away. And it was very much, and like, not the character I understood of Maven, and that's why I didn't like that one. Could you tell that I skimmed these and I did not care? I did not care at all. 2.5 stars is what I'm going to say. I did not have the best time. I definitely explained it more on my Instagram. I think I explained more on my Instagram, maybe not. But basically, it was not my thing. I mean, for someone who rated every single book that I had read from the Red Queen universe, minus that one novella that I rated 4 stars, I rated all of them 3 stars. So, like, it shouldn't have been a surprise when I came to this that I just wouldn't care about the universe enough to enjoy any of these stories. But I can definitely see, for someone who definitely did enjoy the Red Queen universe, the stories, the characters, because that was my main problem, the characters, and these are short stories, so it's more about the characters anyways. Those people probably would enjoy it more, and I get why they would like it. It just wasn't something that I, as a person who wasn't the biggest fan of the series, would enjoy. And that's fine. Like, 2.5 stars, it's fine, whatever. I'll move on with my life. I don't want to look at this. This isn't important anymore. There are 2 extra books. They aren't right up there. The first one being, yes, from my 24-hour spreads that we don't need to talk about. Was it Tina in those who told me, or like, they were gonna read, her Bikers, and brought it up, and I was like, you know what, I'll read it too. It's like 51 pages, let's heck and go. So Her Bikers by Fox Rose, while I was in the middle of reading The Butterfly Garden, I read that. Quick little 50-ish page reverse harem story with a bunch of bikers, that are quite a bit older than her. It's like her dad's old biker gang, he's dead, and some spicy dance happens. As per usual for these types of books, 3.5 stars. I honestly expected to rate A Ruin of Roses. No, I did rate Ruin of Roses 3.5. Spoilers for the vlog. As well, because those types of books are very much usually 3.5 for me. I don't know what's up with that, but that's a thing, common thing I've noticed. And then the other one was finally A Tessa Dare. After months and months of talking about, say months and months, it's been like a month and a half, me talking about wanting to read A Tessa Dare. I did, almost in like one day. I think I read 30 pages one day, and then like 3 days later, I read the whole entire rest of the book, which is 358 pages. I think, so like, I read a lot that day, which was Any Duchess Will Do by Tessa Dare, which is the 4th book in the Spindle Cove series. The first one, I think it's A Night to Surrender, I rated 5 stars. There was the Christmas novella that I rated 4 stars. Then there's A Week to Be Wicked, which was my favorite so far of the series still. 5 stars. And then there was, I think it was A Lady by Midnight after that, which is the 3rd book, which it was okay, 4 stars. The first full-length novel in this universe series thing that I rated 4 stars. And then under 5 stars, honestly. And then there was the last novella that I read, which is Beauty and the Blacksmith, which I rated 4 stars. Seems to be a common thing for the novellas for me, which is honestly fine. So for the novellas, from what I can tell, it just spice dance for characters that don't get full-length books, which felt weird for that one, because that character, main female character, was the sister of 2 other characters for 2 that get like full-length novels. Like, the youngest sister gets the last novel in the series, and the middle sister got A Week to Be Wicked, and she gets 100-something page novella. suspicious, but whatever. That one was 4 stars. And this one, I rated 4.5. Not my favorite. I think it may be my second favorite. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been since January that I read the first one. But this one is definitely a time. I enjoyed it. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much. And the reason why it's 4.5 and not a 5, I can like put my finger on it, and it's that it didn't get, I didn't get the Tessa Dare brand of like comedy that she gets. Like, her writing style has a little bit of a comedic thing going on, and especially with the banter sometimes, like the banter in A Week to Be Wicked, top tier. Okay, no one can tell me otherwise. And I definitely did not feel it as much in this one. Like, a few times I like got the banter, but otherwise like it didn't really get a chuckle out of me. It did make me live my best life. Like the time that they're in a garden talking and she just brings up that she not a virgin, my dude. And I was just there like, is this really the greatest time to bring that up, my dude? But it was a good time. The emotional beats, even though the comedy didn't hit and banter didn't hit as much as it normally does for Tessa Dare, the emotional beats did hit. Griffin's backstory, I was worried about Griffin because he was in A Week to Be Wicked and he was not a good person in that book, and so I was worried, being as he's the main hero in this book, and the heroine I knew I would enjoy, and I very much did. So I was worried I would, like, he'd be too similar to how he was in that book. So I was worried that she wouldn't change him enough properly, put him through enough stuff to really make him a different person and make him seem worthy of her, but also like make me care enough about the romance. But she did it. Like, she did it. There's like a few moments where you're like, sir, seriously, but like for the most part, yeah. The thing that he went through that changed him almost made me cry. Another chance of, like, another instance of me almost crying. Like, it was on the brink. Like, it was good. It was good. I understand why you enjoy this, Helen. I went to tell you about it in Princess's stream when you were when I got to it, and yet you weren't there anymore. It was very sad. But I like was reading until 1 in the morning, trying to reading this book. I did not care. It was so good. 4.5 stars. It is my favorite book of the month. It is my favorite book of May. Congratulations, we all got here. It was, of course, the last book I talk about, but who cares about that? And that is my May wrap up. Went much faster than planned. Being as things as I have 28 minutes I've been recording, but whatever. I'll move to the side so you can see the whiteboard for the outro, in which I tell you all the reading vlogs. The Rose, Butterfly, and Green reading vlog are all linked below. The Instagram is also linked below. My Instagram is, which I've been doing posts on somewhat regularly. Definitely things on my story. That's what it's called. My story has mostly almost every day I post on there, and a lot of them I do save in my highlights, so like you're good. Especially like book reviews and that such. So there's that. Is there anything else? Subscribe, like, comment, anything really. I don't care. Live your best life. Say hi to me. Hi, Helen. You comment like every video that you watch, which is every single one. So does H. So like, honestly, live your best lives. Say hi to me in the comments. And I will see you for the first reading vlog of the month, which I'm thinking will be either next Wednesday or Saturday. We will see. It depends how long it takes me to read those 3 pretty big books. But yes, that is this video. It is done. It is complete. I finished it. I will now go edit and upload it. We do not need to talk about the grandma aesthetic that has become a thing on my thumbnails on my channel. It is just a thing. We are not talking about it. Thank you. Good night. I will see you in the next video.